Watch. Muslim held a secret meeting and admitted they're all radical. Deport them? The left has been coddling Muslims and their, quote, peaceful religion for years now, but we the people now know it's anything but. Violence is part of Islam, plain and simple. During a meeting at the Peace Conference Scandinavian 2013 hosted by the IslamNet, a massive crowd gathered to discuss Islam. An audience member prefaced his question by making several false claims about how the Jewish people and Christians share the same views as Muslims, such as putting homosexuals to death and segregating women. The speaker lists some of the punishments and treatments common in Islam, and then he says, quote, there are not extreme or radical views. These are general views that every Muslim believes. Horrifying. It's not the radical Shaikhi, it's Islam. Let's take a listen here.
Sheikh, I'll be very quick. My question is about the media and how they always attack the Muslims or Islam in particular. While for some certain things, for example, about gays, and they always attack us and the teachings towards this matter, for example. While in Christianity and in Judaism, it's the same punishment that exists. It's haram, and so why they're always, for example, focusing on Islam and not Judaism or Christianity, while, for example, also in Jerusalem, for those who've been to Jerusalem and the bosses in Jerusalem, for example, women sit separate than men, for example. So why, like 5 minutes ago or early, we were asked about why Muslims has to be sitting separate, men and women, but they never ask these questions to Jews or Christians, why specifically Muslims or Islam.
Didn't you answer this question yesterday? And you said that you need to ask the media.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But he needs an answer. He was not here. But the other people were here. The other people will suffer because of you.
The answer is very simple. Islam is the truth. And Christianity and Judaism are not the truth.
Could I give a comment regarding this topic? May I, Sheikh? Yeah, but you are the Sheikh. You are the doctor.
Yes.
MashaAllah. Can we have this camera focusing on all the audience, sir? Can we have this camera focusing on all the audience? Because every now and then, every time we have a conference, every time we invite a speaker, they always can come with the same accusations. This speaker supports death penalty for homosexuals. This speaker supports death penalty for this crime or that. He is homophobic. They subjugate women, etc., etc., etc. It's the same old stuff coming all the time. And I always try to tell them that, look, it's not that speaker that we're inviting who has these extreme radical views, as you say. These are general views that every Muslim actually has. Every Muslim believes in these things. Just because they're not telling you about it, or just because they're not out there in the media, doesn't mean they don't believe in them. So I will ask you, everyone in the room, how many of you are normal Muslims? You're not extremists. you're not radical, just normal Sunni Muslims. Please raise your hands. Everybody, mashallah. Subhanallah. Okay, take down your hands again. How many of you agree that men and women should sit separate? Please raise your hands. Everyone agree. Everyone agree. Brothers and sisters. Subhanallah. So it's not just these radical sheikhs then. Allahu Akbar. Next question. How many of you agree that the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery, whatever it is, if it is from Allah and His Messenger, that is the best punishment ever possible for humankind, and that is what we should apply in the world. Who agrees with that? Allahu Akbar. Are you all the radical extremists? Subhanallah. So all of you are saying that you are common Muslims, you all go to the different masajids Norway, or are you like a specific sect, like the Islam net sect or anything like that? Are you like that? No. Are you like that? Please raise your hand if you like this extreme Islam net sect or anything like that. No one. Allahu Akbar. How many of you just go to these normal masajids in Norway, the normal Sunni mosques? Please raise your hands. Allahu Akbar. So what's the politicians gonna say now? What's the media gonna say now? That we're all extremists? We're all radicals? We need to deport all of us from this country? Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Takbir! 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 May we have the next question, please? From the sister side.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wallahi, this is the best answer I have ever heard. Okay, do you allow me to copy your answer in other places?
Of course, Sheikh.
But of course I will claim it to myself.
It's copyright, Sheikh, copyright.
The speaker goes on to poll the audience about whether they believe women should be segregated. Everyone in the audience raised their hands. The speaker then asked the audience whether they agree with the punishments instructed by their teachings. Again, everyone in the audience raised their hands. The description for the video goes on an illogical rant about why there is no such thing as radical Islam. What is more disturbing is the comment section, where there are people agreeing with this rhetoric. First and foremost, patriots, let's get something clear. Jesus never commanded anyone to kill someone. This is so false that I'm shocked I heard it with my own ears. Jesus would never instruct his followers to harm anyone. As a matter of fact, Jesus said during the Sermon on the Mount that instead of an eye for an eye, it should be, quote, turn the other cheek. Islam, on the other hand, has an entire legal doctrine known as Sharia law, encouraging its followers to amputate the arms of thieves, stone women for adultery, put homosexuals to death, and a whole list of other terrible things. How could anyone say this is the, quote, religion of peace? These punishments make the Dark Ages look bright. Furthermore, not even the most radical follower of Judaism or Christianity would ever commit suicide to kill non-combatants. We don't need to look further than Egypt and its recent terrorist attacks to know that Christians and Jewish people are the victims here. There are so many radical Islamic attacks that we don't even have time to report on run-of-the-mill bank robbers or serial killers anymore. The fact that the audience member asking the question had to begin his question with false claims about Christians and the Jewish people is already a horrible sign. There are actually young, impressionable people being misled by these dangerous and violent beliefs. This is horrible. I totally agree. What is more horrible is the past 8 years we have been letting so many of these people in our countries without even vetting. What's the point of vetting? If you're from that religion, this is what you believe. There is no such thing as vetting. That's my opinion. We should be very concerned about the damage the previous administration has done to our great country by its lax standards. We need increased vetting. Thank goodness we have Donald Trump to change our immigration policy, but the activist judges had to stop his travel ban. Where is the accountability? That's a very good question. We need to hold these so-called judges accountable for their dangerous activism. I totally agree. Our immigration standard needs to be elevated more than it already has been. We need more legislators and politicians to tackle this problem. The establishment and the globalist cronies want to open the floodgates and flood our country with unknown and potentially dangerous people. We need to make sure that doesn't happen. We really dodged a bullet with Donald Trump. If we had Hillary Clinton in office, we would be living in a very different America, an America that we may not even recognize. It is a good thing the silent majority rose up to defeat the globalists. What's the point of vetting again? That's what I'm saying. What's the point? Even if most of these people don't want to follow, they'll be attacked by their own people. They can't even go against their religion. That's what I believe. They don't belong in this country. That's my belief. They need to be in their country. They can follow their own Sharia law. That's not the American way. And we shouldn't forget about vetting. Just close the borders. That's it. Nobody else in. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching.